All right, we are starting a new week of weather, Clay. Of course, many still dealing with the remnants of it. We do have Leah Bowling in Murphy in that area right now, but locally here, Chattanooga Metro, tell us a little more about the calmness we expect, or need, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, especially for those to the east, it's nice to have a calmer week of weather. Of course, we were tracking Helene all of last week, and that made some significant impacts for those places just to our east. Again, if that track would have came just a little further west, we would have had more impacts here locally. But fortunately, we just had the heavy rain and not a whole lot of the wind. And this morning, we still have the remnants of Helene just to our north. That's going to bring us more cloud cover throughout the day, similar to what we've had the last couple of days. Cloudy and maybe a little bit sprinkly at times, a little bit of light rain possible. But kind of going back to Helene, here's that official track. Now, if you can recall, the cone was a little further to the west, but it ended up tracking right along the Georgia-South Carolina line, went through portions of western North Carolina and then up into northeast Tennessee. Now, if you were on the east side of this track, that's where the most significant impacts ended up being here across the western Carolinas into portions of northeast Georgia and even northeast Tennessee. A lot of significant flooding. So again, that's just kind of something that we were watching very closely throughout much of last week. So now Helene is gone and it's just a remnant low. And here's a look at some of the 5-day rainfall. Here across the Tennessee Valley, we picked up quite a bit of rain, anywhere from about 4 to 6 inches in those areas into the western Carolinas. There was one area in North Carolina that picked up over 30 inches of rain. So the highest impacts remain just to our west. Still a lot of power outages from northeast Tennessee across western Carolinas down into portions of Georgia, but we're looking good here power outage wise. So fortunately, Helene is behind us and those areas to the east can start to clean up. Now, as we take a look at our Food City cam, a little bit of fog out there in the distance, but overall it's a pretty nice morning. Reduced visibility across portions of the Cumberland Plateau into northeast Alabama. So if you're traveling out across the Tennessee Valley today, it is going to be possible that you run into reduced visibility less than a mile. So just give that some mind as you're heading out. Temperatures generally in the 60s. And as we take a look at those highs, 78 today in Pikeville, 73 in Soddy Daisy, 73 in Benton, 75 down in Andrews. We'll have 76 in Ellijay, 73 in Ringgold, and mid-70s across much of northeast Alabama. So it's going to be a little bit cooler with the cloud cover, and there will be a slim chance of a few showers. Again, primarily north and east of Chattanooga, closer to that remnant low. Any rain that falls today is not going to be that impactful, but we are going to have a whole lot of cloud cover. Now, going into your Tuesday, once again, we'll have that fog in the morning, a lot of cloud cover during the day, maybe a sprinkle, but I'm thinking Tuesday is going to be mainly dry. And then after Tuesday, the remnants of Helene get swept off to the north and east, and we're finally going to have some sunshine by the middle of the week. Additional rain totals generally going to be light, upwards of a trace to maybe 1/10 of an inch in places like Murphy, Athens, or Dayton. But overall, this isn't going to be very impactful if we do pick up any rain. Now, the good news for us is we did have some beneficial rainfall here across the Tennessee Valley. It wasn't too much, but we've had nearly 6 inches now in Chattanooga. So the first month in a while, we've actually had a surplus of rainfall, and that cut into our departure. Remember last week we were talking about 11 inches below average. Now we're only about 6.5. So that's certainly good news for us. Extreme drought still in effect for Chattanooga, Dayton, Altamont, and Athens, but the new drought monitor will be issued later this week, and I do expect some improvements area-wise with some of that recent rainfall. Now, we are tracking the tropics. Again, we're still kind of in the thick of things. There's 2 systems out in the open Atlantic that aren't going to impact us, Isaac and Joyce. We have this area of interest coming into the Gulf of Mexico with about a 50% chance of development. And again, that looks like a similar, setup to Helene, but I can promise you it's not. We're going to have much cooler waters now. The air water was churned up, but there is going to be that impact zone from about the Yucatan Peninsula to Cuba that we're going to watch closely. But for now, it's a pretty low-end threat, but we'll keep you updated here over the next couple of days. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Today, we'll have that fog in the morning. Same for Tuesday. But finally, by the middle of the week, more sunshine, and it's going to be nice heading into really the rest of the week, Paul.
That is great news, and thank you for clarifying. The water's a little cooler. Not so much a repeat of Helene.
Yeah, we're not looking at Helene. I've been seeing some crazy things floating around social media.
Yeah.
But don't be alarmed.
Don't listen to all the things you see. Just listen to Clay.
There we go.
That's it. All right, thanks, Clay.